What's up, everybody? It's your favorite Cream City Curveball back for our second edition. This is two. We're really moving along, Pipe. I'm your man Justin from North Carolina.
And Polish Pipe Bomb here.
Yeah, man, we're here today. It's a great day, man. Beautiful day. The weather's a little bit cloudy here in North Carolina, but I'm excited, Pipe. You know why I'm so excited, brother?
Holiday weekend?
And my ex-wife was busy. She gave Greg Clounsel, she rode her broom in, the Wicked Witch from the South, rode in there. We gave them belt to behind. You had your boy PCA out there, trip, falling, and stop, drop, and roll. Was it a fire drill? What are we doing, sir? My boy Hamilton just motoring around that base path. I thought Jake Bowers had an excellent series. For those of y'all who don't know, we're talking about the Milwaukee Brewers sweeping those. Are they second place, third place? I don't know.
On
They
their way to last place.
Amen. They were the best team in baseball. They were this, they were that about 15 games ago. And since that, they've been on this losing streak, man. It's up and down. It's bipolar. It's amazing. It's Are we left? Are we right? I don't know. The one thing that I don't do know that's right is my boy, the pipe bomb.
Yeah, that was one hell of a series, man. And that three-name kid, he made himself look like a straight jackass out there. Loved every second of it. Every time they would cut and show Greg with that, ooh, he looks like, he's trying to hold in a fart face all the time. Just loved it every single time they showed that idiot. So thank God that he's 90 miles south of the good land and he ain't holding us back anymore, because we on the Murph train and this bad boy is rolling.
Yeah, man. Two-time manager of the year. I feel like there's not a lot of negative stuff, and some people kind of hate the him and in the haw and that Murph kind of does with lineups. Put this guy in, put that guy in. I'm gonna tell you, if there's one guy's hunch I'm always gonna trust, it's gonna be Pat Murphy. It's almost like those other sports where where ex-coach here, ex-general manager could do no wrong. I really feel like Murph is. There we go. That's our third topic. It just came to me. We'll get to that in a second though. But I just think Murph is just absolutely amazing, just a phenomenal manager, and he out managed Craig Counsell again, and that's why we took that sweep, brother.
Yeah, you're 100% right there. He definitely outmanaged him. Murphy's a perfect mix where, because of how many years he was at Notre Dame and in college ball, he's able to sit there and connect with the young guys. The age difference is gargantuan. But, you see in the post game press conferences, Murphy's kids are younger than some of the players' kids. So he's able to relate to these young dudes, and then he's also able to sit there and make sure that the veterans respect him as well. And Murphy's smart enough where okay, so we talked a lot towards the end of last season. We all knew that Fred, like Freddie was going to be gone and all that, and what kind of effect that was going to have in the clubhouse, because Freddie Peralta, a little behind the curtain stuff here, he sat there and owned half that clubhouse. He was the man in for the pitchers and for all the Latin players. That was Freddie's show, man. And he sat there and controlled it. They all looked up to him. They all gathered around him every single day. Didn't matter if it was spring training, in May, in August. Freddie was the man. However, he's gone. See ya. Wish you nothing but bad luck. But the team sat there, hasn't missed a beat. So, granted, I haven't been in the clubhouse. I didn't get down to spring training this year. Haven't been in the clubhouse so far this season. So I'm not 100% sure who's taking that from Freddie. Maybe it's Woody, even though he's hurt. He's still a leader. The guys trust him, look up to him, veteran, all the talent in the world. He's just got to stay healthy. But so I'm not 100% sure who the leader is with the pitching staff now. But it doesn't look like the Brewers have missed a step at all.
No, yeah, and I mean the pitching staff. We lose guys off of the batting order, and Willie Adames. I think you were the only one that was kind of celebrating or predicting or professing prolific that we're gonna get rid of Freddie Peralta, man. Because you know me with our conversations, I was definitely crying to you. We can't get rid of Freddie. Freddie is the Brewers. He is, and I still think he is. And unfortunately, he's fallen on a little bit of hard luck out there in excuse me, not Los Angeles, New York. But that's kind of what happened when you go to those big matchups, man. You go to those big teams, and they expect the most of you, and then they're paying you a little contract in terms of Milwaukee from what we play players, but you know you're getting a big contract, and you got to produce, man. But all in all, just absolutely greatness, man. And we've found a way to bring in Harrison. We found a way to bring in Henderson. It's all these different guys that come in and they do well. You know, your boy Tyler Thornburg and those guys down there in Nashville doing a great job. The entire pitching from top to bottom. When you look at the Wilson Warbirds, Biloxi Shuckers, Rookie Ball, the Nashville Sounds, and then all of us, obviously the big guys. Just we're in great shape, man. So speaking of great shape, coming into tonight, you got Justin Warboloski. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't know, man. He's my Polish cousin. I have no idea how the hell to pronounce his last name. Robleski or something. Whatever. I don't know.
Well, you know, you're a lot more prolific and proficient in the skis than I am. So against Logan Henderson. Saturday, we have Roki Sasaki. They just versus our guy Robert Gasser. And then you got Sproat versus Yamamoto. We're not even going to attempt the first name. So I see a left-hand pitcher for the Dodgers, and then a couple of righties. The guys that pretty much dominated us last year in that postseason, I think they're struggling a little bit. We miss Otani on the mound. He's their most solid pitcher other than your ski brother. So I don't know, bro. I'm kind of excited about all this stuff that we have going on. We'll see tonight. Tonight will be the big test, right? Do you leave Jake Bauers in the lineup? Or do you sit him down? He's the hottest guy, might be the best hitter and one of the best players in all of the MLB right now. So do you sit him down? And then I think we're good for the other two. But I'm excited, man. I want to see 2 out of 3. We talked about this very briefly last time, but I want to see 2 out of 3. I think Yamamoto is gettable, and I think Sasaki is gettable. I hope I'm pronouncing his name wrong. Blame it on the brain, not the heart, because we love all these guys, even if they're on the other team. We just want them to suck when they play us. And your ski brother, that's the one that worries me. He's their best pitcher. He's 6-1, 2.49 ERA, but we got Big Logan going against him. So what are you looking for tonight? Well, let's do 2 things. So 1, tell me what you're looking for, and then 2, give me a guy that you're picking to have the series with the bat in his hand. No toothpicks allowed.
Okay, well, Bauers is playing tonight, and he's hitting 6th and playing in left field. There's no way you can't take him out of the lineup. So I don't care if he's got to sit there and play second base, play shortstop. He could play right field. He could play left. He could play catcher. Let him pitch. I don't care. You need that bat in that lineup every single day. We all know that the Brewers' problems so far early in the season is hitting and the inconsistencies at the bat. And so this will be a good test. We got Renhefo in there tonight. We got Joe Zero, stuff like that. So it's going to be a tough series. My pick, man, my dark horse to sit there and have one hell of a weekend, I'm going with Renhefo. Do I have any facts or any reason to back that up besides just a guess? Hell no. Because he hasn't shown much. Yes, he's made some loud outs. He's one of the few. Sal Frelick wishes that he was hitting the barrel as many times as Renhefo is, and both of their batting averages are very mediocre, and that might be a compliment. But I think Renhefo's going to get rolling. I do expect a hell of a lot more out of him going forward than what we've seen so far, especially when we talked about a couple days ago, the left side of the infield is just straight trash at the plate. And somebody's got to sit there and say, hey, if I don't start hitting, I'm going to be hopping on a bus somewhere or a plane to a different team. If you want to sit there and make the playoffs, you want to have a deep run, you want to be on a good ass team, you better start hitting. And so you stay right here in the good land with the Brewers, because otherwise your ass could be shipped God knows where.
Hey, what you say? Southwest flight to BNA, right? It's a direct
Hello.
flight too. Dang, man, I knew I should have answered this first because you took my guy, man. I was going Rengifo too. So let me give me the lineup for today, Pipe. If you already got it, let me who we got in the lineup because we got to pick somebody that's in the lineup today.
Oh yeah. All right. You got Churio leading off, Terang Contreras, Yelich, Vaughn, Bowers, Renjifo, Freelick hitting eighth. Freelick's hitting behind Renjifo, and then Joe Zero hitting ninth.
I'm gonna go with my boy Angel Hair, Rotini, spaghetti sauce, Sal, the Italian kid, Freelick to have the series, man. I really wanted to go Joey O, but I mean, you said before we're not doing any hot takes, we're not doing anything for you. So I'm going to tell you what I authentically feel. I do think Joey's going to have a big hit this series, and I think his glove work. But I'm gonna go. If I put my money on it, I'm gonna go Sal Frelick. I'm gonna actually bet him to have 2 hits tonight too. That's how confident I'm feeling on it. Um, yeah, so I go Sal. Let's pause for a second though. Let's pause for a second, real quick. We got to pause because we're supposed to do this at the beginning, man. Heartfelt condolences out there to Kyle Busch. Completely forgot about it. The number 8 guy, just completely tragic, man. And Godspeed to him and his family.
Yeah, obviously NASCAR lost a soon to be first ballot Hall of Famer a hell of a lot earlier than what he should have been because he had a lot of great seasons still left in him. He was struggling at the Cup level, hasn't won in a long time now, but he won in trucks less than 2 weeks ago. So he's still a dominant force, has had that personality, man. That dude ran over everything on that track. And I hated him for a long time because he was always starting stuff and, he'd put you in the wall and laugh about it and do all this kind of stuff. And so it took a long time for me to sit there and recognize how good he was for NASCAR. You know, everything like, okay, so the Dodgers are coming into town now. You got the good guys with the Brewers. You got the bad guys with LA. You got small payroll in the beloved, and you got the gargantuan payroll of the idiots from the coast. Good and bad, good and bad, good and villain, hero and villain. Kyle Busch was a perfect villain for NASCAR. He played that role to a T. He would win. The crowd would be booing, throwing beers on the track, and he's sitting there, come on, bring it on. They're booing him. He's giving them, the Hogan ear, all that kind of stuff. He was great. And, but you obviously feel just terrible for his wife and kids, man. That, he's got young kids that now have to grow up without a father. And, it's a damn shame.
That's why, and they said that it was some pre-existing allegedly, and I don't have any factual evidence for it, but some medical stuff. So we'll encourage everyone that listens to this and can hear the sound of our voice, go get your medical checks. Don't play with that stuff. A lot of us, we're not 22 anymore where it's just a scrape and toughen up. Take your behind to the doctor and do what the doctor tells you to do, man. So our wild card, sometimes we have a wild card question. We were kind of talking back and forth before the show. So I had two. What do you want, A or B?
You know me, man. I choose C. I don't care, dude. Pick one. It don't matter.
Well, the heck with it. Let's do them both. So let's go back to the beginning topic real quick. This Cubs series, the sweep that we did, the B2A, like the young folks say we have the Brewers had the aura again, like the young folks say. Man, we're shout out to our 17 to 22-year-olds in the building listening to us, right? Two old guys. We're too cool for school still, man. And back in my hold on, all right, let me get off it. So we got the Chicago Cubs getting swept, then losing 2 out of 3 to the White Sox. Am I way out of pocket for saying baseball in the city of Chicago for the next 5 years will belong to the guys on the South Side versus the North Side?
I wish. I don't think so. The Cubs have deep pockets. So, if their slide continues, as we all hope it does, and hopefully they never win another game this entire season, they'll be able to sit there and dump dudes and spend a lot more money and pick more guys up. The Brewers have been lucky because the Cubs got deep pockets. They don't spend it. They don't really spend what they should. As you compare it to the Mets, to the Dodgers, the Yankees, obviously, teams like that, the Padres that just spend gobs and gobs of money. Cubs don't spend like that, thankfully. Yes, they pick up big name free agents, Bregman and all those guys. So, do I think that the South Side, great, good for them. No one cares. The White Sox can sit there and go, 20 games over 500. They're still going to draw 7 people on a Wednesday afternoon at that dump of a ballpark that they have. So no one's going to show up. No one's going to care. The Sox fans don't come out of the woodwork until the playoffs start. And then it's like, then they start talking all this kind of smack. And it's like, where the hell you been? You ain't been in this building in 15 years. And now you want to start talking trash? That just shows the class of those fans. But no, the Cubs they still own Chicago for at least a foreseeable future, in my eyes.
Yeah, I'm always just anti-Cubs and pro-White Sox, so I'm gonna definitely say it's a White Sox city. I think they have a lot of good young talent coming up, and I don't know how fat that minor league system is for the Chicago Cubs. But I mean, the important thing is, like you said, I hope they don't win another game the rest of this year and the rest of next year and the next 5 after that, right? And
Right.
it's not personal with Craig, but it is personal. You're a Milwaukee guy, and you do this, you do that, da 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 da, and then you get there and you sign with the Chicago Cubs. So
Oh, you
enjoy your time down there.
don't even preface it with nothing against, or with all due respect. He was the one who said that taking the Chicago Cubs job was his dream job that he's always dreamt about in baseball. Those were his words. I wasn't, hey, I took this job because the money's great, And that was the thing with Craig, is that he sat there when he was with Milwaukee. In my eyes, I believe that he embraced the whole Wisconsin thing. He had that commercial, I'm one of you guys, and all this kind of stuff. And, it beats in my heart and, blah, blah, blah. Well, obviously, with all his comments once he left, that was a whole load of BS. But when he was here, I think he embraced that to try to deflect criticism on him. And then he goes down to Chicago and tries acting holier than thou. Oh, hey, managers' salaries are going down. So I took the highest salary for managers ever because I want to reset the market. Everybody should look at me like a conquering hero and forget about the fact that they had David Ross as a manager who was doing a decent job. And because Greg signed that deal, Ross got fired. So he wants to act holier than now, like he's resetting and doing a great thing for managers. Well, you got one fired, asshat. So you can't sit there and pat yourself on the back when you're a scumbag behind the scenes anyway. You know what I mean? So that's my problems with him. But yeah, like you said, hopefully for the next 10, 25 years, they don't win nothing. Ever.
Man, so that's a perfect segue to the last question of the day that I have for you. I wanted you to kind of give me your top 3 Brewers managers of all time. So you kind of led right into that one, big dog. So I'll let you. You're hot off the presses, so I'll let you go first.
Well, obviously, I go with Pat Murphy. How can you not? Back-to-back manager of the year, all that kind of stuff. The dude's just brought a renewed energy and just the way that he handles the press conferences and the way that he deals with the players, I really respect and really like. He does do a lot of things that I want to tase his ass for. Some of these lineups are stupid. There are some moves that I scratch my head at. But all Murph's got to say is look at the record book and look at what I've accomplished in the short time that I've been the head guy. So I put Murphy 1. I put Ricky Weeks at 2. He's got a great record filling in when Murphy has to miss a day here and there, and all. I don't care, man. Since I've been paying attention to the Brewers on a day in, day out basis, basically it was Counsell and it's been Murphy. So, you know, I wasn't in the day-to-day weeds of Brewer Nation when they had all the other managers and stuff, and you know, Renicky and all those guys. So I don't really know, but so that's why I would put Murphy 1, Ricky Weeks 2, and nobody else 3, because I wasn't here and living and dying on every pitch like I am now.
Ricky Weeks is crazy. Like I was getting ready to make an argument for Dale Swain, but I think you killed you killed me with the Ricky Weeks because I see where you're going with it. I gotta so I'm gonna agree with you. And there's no particular order for me, but I think top 3 of all time, you gotta go. Pat Murphy has to be in there. He's a back-to-back manager of the year winner. I think that's unheralded and it's absolutely amazing. So now I'm struggling a little bit, right? Because I know I hate to say it, but I have Craig Counsell in there. I have Ron Renicky in there, and I have Harvey Keene, who, correct me if I'm wrong, Pipe, that's the gentleman who managed them to our one and only World Series. So I feel like if he's there for the World Series, he has to be in that top 3 category. So then I look at Counsell and I look at Renicky. Renicky had us to our best record ever until Murphy surpassed it. But Craig's duration as a Milwaukee Brewers manager is pretty impressive. I'm sorry, Greg, not Craig.
Yeah, most wins in franchise history.
Yeah, so I'd probably go him 3. It's tough though with Keene and with Renicky though. So then we're back to there because you got the one guy with the World Series and you got Renicky who had more playoff appearances and stuff like that. I'm gonna go with the guy that went to the World Series, man. We'll put Renicky as a 4th, man. So Pipe, let's do this, man. So something I we're the coolest old guys ever. I can't figure out how to get these comments to work on the YouTube. So my Twitter handle is rated R NUPE 414. What's yours, Pipe?
Jeff underscore Orlowski. No W in there. It's just ORLOSKI, no W. So Jeff underscore Orlowski. What is that rated? What's yours stand for?
So Noop is what they call our fraternity. That's a nickname for the fraternity that we have, Kappa Alpha Psi. So that's where the Noop come from. The 414 is obviously the area code where I'm from. And then the rated R is because I have a terrible mouth.
Yeah, me too. We are almost through 2, and I don't think neither one of us has sworn yet. So that's a good thing.
No, for sure. I mean, that's because I hate to bite this from the Knicks, but we're blue and gold skies right now. Everything's perfect in the land of Brewers land, man. But we'll get there. So we'll apologize to our moms and everybody else right now off the rip. And we're sorry, but we'll probably get there at some point. But man, this has been another great episode, Pipe. Episode number 2 in the books.
I just think, yeah, real quick, I do think that this is a very important weekend for the Brewers because I need to see what I want to see Logan Henderson go through this lineup of all-stars. But more importantly is Gasser and Sproat. I know what I've got in Henderson, I think. I'm 85% of the way there with him. Gasser, I've been disappointed so far with what I've seen out of him. I thought he was going to come back from this injury, knowing how stacked the Brewers rotation and just pitching staff in general is. I thought Gasser was going to sit there, take the ball, and just try to lights out and reclaim what he in my mind would think is his rightful spot. So far, we haven't seen that. So I need a big day out of Gasser. And Sproat, Harrison has all the accolades. Harrison and Miz, by far 1 and 1A of the rotation. And then it's I would probably put Logie at 3rd. And then it's a kind of a jumbled mess on 4 and 5 there. So I'd like to see what Sprout. What
him
Sproat,
too.
Yeah, that's his evil twin. What he does this weekend, because man, that lineup is just stacked and sick. You imagine if with the pitchers that the Brewers have, if they had a lineup like LA, they might go 155-7.
No, for sure.
It would be absolutely sick, man.
Well, I think this weekend, and I'm going to agree with everything you just said, but I'm going to add on. I think this weekend is truthfully the time where you have to live pitch by pitch. And these pitchers cannot get caught up in the moment. Oh, that's Teoscar Hernandez. Oh, that's Mookie Betts. Oh, that's Otani. Execute your pitch, and we'll be in a good spot. And let's just hope these guys miss a couple too, because we know it's the law of averages and stuff like that. And the ball's gonna go over the heart of the plate. Otani's gonna. How many home runs do you think Otani's gonna hit this week?
I'm gonna say one, just one.
What about the Dodgers as a whole? Then how many do you think they'll hit?
Honestly,
Honestly,
probably 7.
okay. Who's your most hated Dodger?
Currently,
Yeah, current team on the roster now.
most hated Freeman.
Why?
You know, because he looks stupid. Every time they show his face, I want to punch him. I got mad respect. Mookie Betts is badass. Obviously, Otani's, badass. Teoscar and Kike are both great. I just Freeman, man. Every time they show his face, I just want to start punching. How about you?
I would second it with Freeman, but it's not because he has an ugly grill. Oh, I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but I said it.
He's got too many teeth, man.
It's because he talked all that junk about at the time Miller Park, now AmFam Field, being a little league baseball park. Da 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 da. And I mean, I just felt like he just kind of dissed the city of Milwaukee. It was an unnecessary shot. So that's why I don't like Freeman. If I had to do number two, it'd probably be Otani because I mean, you're deferring. I mean, the Milwaukee Brewers payroll for the next 5 years to pay this guy, and then you got out of jail free with the gambling stuff. And I mean, I think he's a little crooked, but
Yeah.
so I don't like either one of them guys. Mookie he's just a stud. I really don't want to. But the thing is, if I don't like you, it's like what you were talking about earlier with Kyle Busch. That's a sign of respect for how truthfully good you are in the game.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
all those guys 1 through 6 are amazing ball players. I'm so excited to see how our 1 through 6 line up against their 1 through 6. I think 1 through 6 were pretty solid. So let's see what we do tonight, right?
Yeah, I hope so, man. I hope so. Do I think that this is an important measuring stick on the season? No, it's too early for that kind of stuff. And the Brewers, they've been playing way too well. We've seen it, what they can do. The good thing is that obviously LA, the Brewers play up to their competition and down to their competition. Hopefully they play up these next 3 days like they've been known to, and we give them hell, take 2 out of 3, and hopefully you ain't got to bring that broom back. You can still keep that sucker, and we can sweep these guys out of town on Sunday.
Yeah, man. I think that's a great final word for this today, man. Well put, Pipe. This is why the brother has a PhD in this stuff. Man,
I must stand for something else.
So, oh gosh,
I got a THC in it, but I don't know about a PhD.
Yeah, man. On that note, we're gonna get out of here before we get canceled for. I don't know. We're probably the most 2 cancelable guys in the world, making up words here. But no, we really appreciate all of you for listening to us, man. We appreciate your Brewers fans. This is something that we just want to do to give our take on the Brewers world. There's a lot of great Brewers content out there. We're just trying to add to it, man. So, from your boy Justin
and Pipe,
this has been a Cream City Media Group production. Thanks for tuning in to Cream City Curveball.